Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to show you how I make my Haitian mushroom rice. So these are all the tools you're going to need. I'm using a traditional style aluminum pot, of course measuring cups. I'm going to be using my Maggi cube, Adobo all-purpose seasoning, sea salt, dried parsley, my chicken bouillon flavor seasoning, minced garlic. I'm using unsalted butter because I hate salt, you guys. Fresh thyme, fresh Italian parsley, 1 pound of frozen peas. You can always use lima beans. My Haitian epis, I'll show you guys how I make that in another video. Raw unsalted cashews, dried mushrooms, I got this from the Asian market, and basmati rice. Now first off, I'm going to wash my fresh vegetables. I'm going to chop 3 stalks of green onion, cut half and clean red pepper, 1 habanero pepper, and wash 4 stalks of thyme and wrap it around a good bunch of parsley. I'm going to soak my cashews, then I'm going to drain them. So when you soak it, it makes the cashews a little bit softer and it's easier to actually cut them in half. This step is totally optional. I honestly like some of my cashews full, whole, and some halved in my rice. So I'm gonna be just chopping half of my cashews in half. Now once done there, I'm gonna go ahead and soak my mushrooms just to clean it. Haitians love to clean everything that we eat. I'm gonna go ahead and drain the mushrooms that I let soak for about 15 minutes. And I am going to take whatever mushrooms is left, since it's clean, put it in a pot, add 4 cups of water, and let it boil for about 15 to 20 minutes. And this is how it looks like. I'm going to let it boil on medium-high heat, so level 9 is good if you have numbers on your dial. Sorry you guys, this is like my Haitian witch pot. Okay, now I'm gonna go and prep my rice. Again, Haitians, we really love to make sure our food is cleaned. So I soaked my rice in water for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and pour that over my strainer, taking out all that excess liquid, shaking the rice from excess water, and then putting that back in the bowl with the rice, and then repeating this a whole nother time. So I usually wash my rice 2 times before I actually use it. Yeah, it's really good to massage your rice to make sure that you're taking away anything that is sticking to the rice. And again, I'm going to drain it and set the rice aside for future use. I like doing all this ahead of time so that way everything I need to cook is right then there and ready to go. So it's just easier to have everything prepared. Again, set the rice aside for future use. Now we're going to actually start the cooking process. Now I already heat my pot in low medium heat, so level 5. I'm going to add 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. Then I'm going to throw in my green onions, and put 1.5 teaspoons of minced garlic. I don't know where my 1 teaspoon thingy went, so I'm using 1/2 teaspoon here. So it looks like I'm putting more, but this is just 1/2 teaspoon at a time that I'm putting in. After I'm done with that, I'm gonna pour in my cashews. Half of them are in half, and half of them are whole. Then I'm gonna put 1/3 cup of my Haitian epis. Again, I'm gonna make a video on how I make my epis later, but not right now. Sorry you guys. And I'm gonna let that saute for about 5 minutes, and I'm gonna occasionally stir it so that the garlic doesn't burn. That's why I put it on very low heat, so that the garlic doesn't burn. Now I'm gonna add in my frozen peas. Again, you can always use your frozen lima beans. You can make this so many different ways. Because I'm cooking for a party and I don't know who has any shrimp allergies or whatever, I just made this with no shrimp. But you can add shrimp to this at this point to make it even more flavorful. but I'm using cashews because I love cashews in my food. A lot of Haitians don't use cashews. My mom usually puts cashews in anything stewed that she makes. Now I'm going to take 1 Maggi cube and throw that in. And I'm also going to take some ground cloves. I hate the taste of cloves, so I usually prefer using ground so that I don't bite into cloves. It's very unsatisfying and very disgusting when you taste it in your mouth. So I put 1 teaspoon of ground cloves. And then I'm just gonna go ham and, you know, break away that Maggi. You want to make sure that the seasoning is all over the place. I'm gonna just stir that around a little bit. And I'm now gonna grab my Adobo all-purpose seasoning. I always check the salt content because I hate salt, y'all. So I try to minimize the amount of things that I use that has salt. So I did like 2 shakes, barely anything came out, but you know, it's enough for me. And I'm gonna saute everything else in the pot. Make sure you be careful because the aluminum pot does get hot on the handles. So it's good to have like an oven mitt or something to help prevent burning. I'm gonna saute that for about 2-3 minutes. Okay, once I'm satisfied, this smells so good at this point, y'all. It's really good. I'm gonna grab my chicken bouillon flavor seasoning. You can always use vegetable bouillon. I like my chicken bouillon. This is sort of kind of like the Maggi, but because I didn't want to use 2 Maggi cubes because that can be a little strong, I'm just gonna take 1 teaspoon of this chicken bouillon flavored seasoning and put that in. So good. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and stir. Close that and stir. Now my parsley, my dried parsley, I usually go ham when it comes to dried herbs or fresh herbs because that's not high in salt content. So I always say try to use more herbs than anything in your cooking, you guys. It's better for your body anyway. Now I'm gonna go ahead and saute. Grab my mitt because I almost burned myself. And I'm gonna saute that again, make sure all the flavors marry. It smells so good, oh my gosh. My house was smelling like heaven. Oh my God, just at this point alone. Lord, I love Haitian food. Anyway, once that's sauteed down, I'm gonna go ahead and throw my red bell pepper. Some people think this is weird, but I just like it helps with flavoring. And as you see, we're gonna add our mushroom steeping liquid in a moment. I'm just gonna saute that for a little bit. And now I'm gonna grab my coconut milk. Now, this is not coconut milk that you eat with cereal, y'all. I need the one in a can. Preferably look for one with Spanish or Asian letters, writings on it. You need coconut milk from a can. Not the one that you drink with cereal. That will not come out right. Again, I'm gonna use half the can. Again, I wanna make sure that I'm not overdoing it. So the can is 4 ounces. So I wanna make sure I have 2 ounces, not ounces, yeah, 2 ounces or 2 cups of coconut milk because it's 4 cups. I'm gonna use my measuring cup just to make sure I'm not overdoing it. I'm trying to use measuring cups and things for you all so you guys can actually follow this recipe to the T. Haitian cooking, we really don't use measurements, and me trying to follow measurements to the T my rice came out a little bit less grainier than I would like it. So I'm gonna definitely suggest you follow my directions in the description box to make sure you come out with really nice grainy rice. But it still tasted good, so I didn't care. Now, once the milk is married in with the flavors, I'm gonna go ahead and measure out 2 cups of water at a time of steeping mushroom water, and I'm going to add that to the rice, and I'm going to leave some behind so that I can add at the end to make sure that the rice is not too mushy and that it's at the perfect consistency. Again, in this video I didn't do that and I put all the water in because I thought, you know, for every cup of rice 2 cups of water. It doesn't work for Haitian food, so don't do it. So always leave some extra behind and add as you go to make sure you get the right consistency. Now I'm gonna throw in my habanero pepper. I couldn't find scotch bonnet, so I used habanero, and my fresh Italian parsley wrapped with thyme. And I'm gonna go ahead and cover my pot for 15 minutes so that everything marries well. I opened my pot and I mixed, and this is a good time to taste the steeping liquid to make sure it's at a great taste. However it tastes here is how your rice will actually taste. So mine, I'm gonna add a little salt. Again, I've been very stingy with salt and I've been minimizing my use of my seasoning with high salt content. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of sea salt to taste here. And I'm gonna pour in my rice. Now I put 4 cups of water. So I'm cooking 2 cups of rice. So I'm gonna add that in the middle. Again, like I said, Haitian cooking does not really work well with measurements. You literally have to understand how you have to keep your eye out. So I was trying to stick to measurements, and the consistency of my rice came out a little bit less grainy than I would have wanted. It was still really good, but again, I'm gonna say it again over and over again to make sure you guys follow what I say and not really what I did in this video. At this point, you could have really taken more of that steeping liquid out to ensure that there's enough water for the rice that's in there and the rice isn't overpowered. So that's one step I could have took right here, but I had to get ready for this party. So I left the rice alone for me to shower. So don't do what I did, learn from my mistake. But again, the rice still tasted really good. And it wasn't like super mushy, so thank God for that. I'm just gonna, mix in the rice, and because I seen there was more water than rice, I just took all the rice that I measured. I just double measured just to make sure I didn't overdo it, but at this point, I just added all the rice that I had into the steeping liquid. I was gonna use the excess to make a personal side of rice for myself, but hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of that rice in the steeping liquid. And yeah, you guys, make sure you take every grain of rice. You don't want to lose anything. Food costs money, and I'm preparing this for 25 people, so I want to make sure I have enough rice for everyone. All right, now go ahead and mix the rice into the steeping liquid pretty well, and you're gonna go ahead and cover it. And I did this off camera, but every 10 minutes I came back and I flipped the rice. So I take the serving spoon and go underneath the pot and bring the bottom rice to the top to ensure it cooked evenly. And at that point in time, that would be the best time to add more steeping liquid to ensure the rice cooks to the consistency that you prefer. And I'm gonna cover my rice. I'm not gonna show you guys those extra steps. I did that off camera. And if you see, this is how my rice turned out. I went ahead and placed it in a serving bowl and garnished it with some fresh parsley, just because I'm a Haitian, I like to go overboard, and this is for a party. So I hope you like this recipe. Tell me how you think about it. Hey, it's Kim here. Thank you so much again for tuning into this channel. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell for notifications. Do you want me to talk about something specific? Please leave a comment below, either if you're on Facebook, Instagram, or on YouTube. Leave a comment and I'll be sure to post it. Thanks for tuning in.